Our special guest tonight is Evan Glass, Executive Director of a nonprofit that teaches young people how to effectively use media. Welcome, Evan.
Hi, Carrie.
So Gandhi Brigade Youth Media has an ongoing partnership with the Montgomery County Public Libraries, and it operates free after-school programs for middle and high school students in 5 different library sites across the county: Rockville, Kensington, Aspen Hill, Long Branch, Burtonsville. So please tell us a bit about the program.
Yeah, well, you hit all the right locations. So Gandhi Brigade Youth Media is a nonprofit that provides free after-school programming for youth throughout Montgomery County. And what we do is teach them digital media skills, videography, graphic design, digital editing. And we also talk with them about the world around them, what's happening at home, what's happening at school, what's happening in Washington, D.C. between Congress and the White House, and they synthesize all of that and produce documentaries and public service announcements on issues that they care about. Some of the documentaries that they've produced are award-winning in nature and have been done on the subjects of police accountability and immigration reform and juvenile justice, youth issues. And we operate in the various libraries that you mentioned, as well as our headquarters in downtown Silver Spring, right outside Washington. And it's free for the kids, and it's a way to keep them engaged, keep them to be active after school, and to participate in civic life.
That sounds like a great opportunity for them.
It's a lot of fun.
So you teach them these skills and teach them how to use the different, like a video camera and sound editing equipment and such?
Absolutely. So they'll come to us, and we operate basically on the same schedule as a school year. So we'll have a fall semester and then a spring semester. And usually over the course of a 12 to 14 week program, kids will learn how to use the video camera, or some of them really like editing. Others really like being on TV or want to do the interviewing. Not everybody does, surprisingly. And then others really like doing research, because a lot of what we do is research-based, it's factual. And so they're combing the internet, looking at news stories, gathering information so they can ask informed questions. And so kids gravitate to a certain area within media production.
Sure, so there's something for everyone who signs up.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so through this partnership with MCPL and the county government, Gandhi Brigade will soon be moving into the lower level of the Silver Spring Library. This will be the new Gandhi Brigade headquarters. So tell us a little bit about what that means to your program.
I am really excited about this new opportunity. So when I took over as the Executive Director of Gandhi Brigade Youth Media about 4 years ago, we were essentially homeless. We were slightly nomadic, going from location to location. We used to be in a mall, we used to be in a church, and then I got a space in a theater. But then opportunities presented themselves, and the county, Montgomery County, had opportunities for space within the brand new Silver Spring Library. And so we decided that we would apply for it, and we received a 20-year lease from Montgomery County, and the facility is a 3,000 square foot space in the lower level of the library, where we will have offices for our expanded staff. We will have a production room similar to this, and then we will have a teen hangout area where teens can come and sit on the couches and do some homework. But then the big aspect will be a digital media lab, where we'll have computers and workstations for 15 to 18 computers, and kids will come after school. And then we plan to expand our programming so that others get to use that space as well.
Wow, that sounds like a lot in that space, and something for everyone there as well. So what types of programs are you going to offer at this new facility?
So our core program is going to continue, where we will facilitate and teach kids how to create media. What we also recognize, especially in this day and age, that young ladies, girls, sometimes have issues and concerns of their own that they feel more comfortable sharing amongst their peers. And so we're going to have a program just for girls to have that safe space to create media that they want. But then when you think about it, we'll have this wonderful facility, and it is designed essentially for after-school activities. So what do you do during the daytime? And we have thought long and hard on that, and what we're going to do is expand our programming for seniors Do digital media for seniors, teach them to be more proficient at using the web and using some of the digital media software, especially social media. We'll have our kids teach them when able, and we'll have staff do it as well. And then we are looking for partners with other nonprofits or government agencies where we could possibly have re-entry programs or other types of educational opportunities for students who need a space, because here in Montgomery County and in downtown Silver Spring, there's a lack of public space, especially public space with computers such as we will have. And so we're looking to create some unique partnerships where we can really expand these educational opportunities.
I really like the idea of the students working with the seniors and making that connection. I think that's a really important aspect.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when do people get a chance to start enrolling in these classes?
So that is a good question. So we have signed the lease, and Montgomery County has been very generous in providing us the space, but we as an organization have to do the build out. So in order for it to become a reality, we need to raise the money. And right now we are in the middle of a capital campaign, and we have targeted a target of $550,000 to raise, and we're about 80% of the way there.
Wow.
So we're really excited. We plan on starting that work this summer, July or August, and because it's a small space and it's already built, the shell is there, it's not like we have to break any ground. And so once we start, we'll probably be done in 6 to 8 weeks, and we'll definitely be there this fall. Whether or not we'll be September 1st or October 1st, we're not quite sure yet, but it'll definitely be this fall.
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
Very exciting.
The staff are excited, the kids are excited, the board, the community is really excited. So much so, our state delegation, our state senator and state delegates got us a bond bill so that we can really help with this fundraising effort, because they know how important these opportunities are to the broader community. Mm-hmm. So many people nowadays use the libraries not for books, as important as books are, but they use it for the Wi-Fi. Right. And they use it for the computers. And so here we are doubling down on that vision and creating more opportunities for adults and young people to be able to use digital media.
Right. So are you advertising or putting up announcements? Are the kids putting together any PSAs about this program? How are you getting the word out?
So because of our partnership with the libraries, when we have our programs, the libraries do help disseminate that information. We also go to high schools and middle schools and tell them. We also do our email listserv, so you can go to gandhibrigade.org and sign up right there. And also on our website, gandhibrigade.org, we have a video that shows a little bit about how important this library move will be to us, especially in the 10-year history of the organization, and then some other documents to really bring it to life and show members of the community how exciting this is going to be.
Right, it's very exciting. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the new facility?
We're ready to go. The community has been there for us, local government has been there for us, local philanthropy has been there. A bunch of family foundations have offered their support because they know the need is there. And this is going to be a marquee space in a marquee building in downtown Silver Spring in the library. And it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so there are several ongoing projects by the Brigade, like the Montgomery County Youth Media Festival and the Summer Documentary Program. So can you talk about those exciting programs too?
So we recently had our Media Festival, which was the 3rd annual Montgomery County Youth Media Festival. And what we do is showcase all the work from our students throughout Montgomery County, and we actually open it up to middle school and high school students throughout the county who aren't even in our programs, but do media in school or as a hobby. And we rent out one of the theaters at the American Film Institute, and for half a day, the students will bring their families and their friends and watch their media on the big screen. And there is nothing cooler than that. Mm-hmm. When I'm there and we're showing everything, I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm looking at the faces of the kids, because their faces are glowing and their mouths are smiling. Just for 3 or 4 minutes to see their work on the big screen is totally awesome.
Right. What a neat feeling for them.
Absolutely.
So what other avenues do they have to show their films? Do they put them on social media, or do you have any outlets that they get to share their work with?
So we also have the summer documentary program, which you mentioned, and during that program, it is a summer program exclusively for the kids who are in our school year program, and we have usually 8 to 10 spots. And what those students do in the course of 5 weeks during the summer is produce a documentary, soup to nuts. They come in on the first or second day and brainstorm topics, usually whatever's on their news feed, whatever's in Twitter or Instagram, and help think through a topic that they want to investigate. And then the rest of those 4 to 5 weeks are doing research, doing interviews, editing, being on set, getting additional B-roll and video, and then finally laying down some music that they have found and putting it all together. And then that is done at the beginning of August, and we have a screening in October. And last year we actually used the theater at the Montgomery College Silver Spring Tacoma Park campus, and we had a full house to watch the kids film and then have a community dialogue on immigration reform, because the piece they wanted to do was on immigration reform. And so this year, we're not quite sure what the topic will be. My spidey sense tells me it's going to be about school violence, particularly guns in schools, because that's everywhere, and they see it and they feel it. And many of our students marched down in Washington multiple times over the last few months. And so that is one big outlet for their big summer media piece. All the other media that they produce can be found on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/Gandhi Brigade. And we have videos and public service announcements from probably the last 3 or 4 years there.
All right, well, great. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your program?
No, it's just awesome to work with kids and to help them find their voice, so that, you know, in this day and age, we're looking to our kids to help guide the way, because sometimes the adults are wandering aimlessly, and to be able to help them help us is immensely rewarding.
All right, well, thank you so much. That was Evan Glass, Executive Director of the Gandhi Brigade, and I'm Carrie Hopkins, your host for Travel Television. We'll return to the conversation after these announcements.
My name is Jerry Jones. Here we are at the VA medical facility here in Washington, D.C., and I'm a volunteer. I've been volunteering here now at the VA for over 9 years. For the past 9 years, I've won several awards. It makes you feel good to volunteer. You know, when you give back to the community and to ones who are reaching out for help. For the past 2 years, I have won the Volunteer of the Year award. I even won the Presidential Award. Just giving back to the community, as I stress, and helping people on an everyday it makes you feel like a humanitarian, and it makes you feel good inside, and your spirit feel good inside. I work at the front desk at the VA as an information specialist. My duty is, as the veterans come into the hospital, to direct them to the different departments, specialty clinics, patient advocate, parking, cafeteria, Metro Access. That's one of the biggest ones. We have our veterans and our people that come here every day on Metro Access, and my main duty is to make sure that the last veteran is left the hospital for the day on their Metro SS return back home trip. And that makes me feel good as being a veteran.
It's amazing to see what a hot meal can do for the soul when you've lost everything and you have not had a hot meal in days. Hi, my name is David Marks, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Operation Barbecue Relief. We're a 501c3 not-for-profit charity founded in May 2011 during the Joplin tornado disaster. We provide compassion, offer hope, and friendship to those whose lives have been affected by disasters across the United States. We leverage our God-given talents and expertise in competitive barbecue cooking as well as catering barbecue meals with our ability to quickly mobilize our teams into any area where disaster disrupts and tears apart the lives of Americans. Operation Barbecue Relief has provided over 1 million meals and spent 178 days deployed in disasters in 19 states. The thing that people think we all have in common is barbecue, and on the surface that is true. We provide hot barbecue meals to those in need and first responders. It's amazing to see what a hot meal can do for the soul when you've lost everything and you have not had a hot meal in days. Barbecue is comfort food. It reminds people of better times, friends, and family. The sustenance of that hot meal combined with the memories of better times give people hope and the ability to begin the healing process. Once you have worked in a deployment like our volunteers have, you learn that barbecue is the lever that binds us. However, the feeling you get providing someone in need that you will never know, who can never repay you, is the fuel that drives the volunteers of this organization. We are Operation Barbecue Relief.
The kids break up the rocks and I lift them from one place to another and help in whichever way I can. And it's been great. It certainly beats going to a gym. This gives you a different kind of view of young people working together towards a common goal. I'm in middle age and when you start thinking about what do you want to do, how do you want to live your life, I think this is certainly a productive way. I think in service there is no age. You're going to love it. I mean, you're going to love being with 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. It's all good. We're here to help the families, but we help each other out. We'd get the Jersey Shore back on track and people back on their homes if everybody my age gave 1 week once in their life. It would be good enough.
Welcome back to Travel Television and our special guest, Evan Glass. We're going to expand the conversation a little bit to the effects of social media. Has it been good or bad on society as a whole and for young people? Evan, what are your thoughts?
So I work with high school students all the time, and they are on their social media platforms every single second. And they're on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat largely. Facebook is for old people like us, right? So it's hard to peel them away, but part of what we do at Gandhi Brigade Youth Media is instill upon them some best practices with social media, reminding them that whatever they put on social media lives somewhere.
It's forever.
It doesn't go away in 1 day or 60 seconds. It's somewhere, on some server, on some remote island in the Pacific or somewhere closer. And sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, but we do instill that into them. And the other thing is the social media is a powerful platform for the youth to share their voice. Just last summer, 2 summers ago, we did a documentary on police accountability. That's when it was everywhere, more so than now. And the kids were looking on Twitter and just seeing all these different instances and all these short videos about horrific acts taking place all throughout the country. And they were looking for something closer to home. And this one young lady, who's now a senior at Blair High School, found on Twitter that there was going to be a protest down at the MLK Memorial in Washington, D.C. And she thought it would be good for us to go and get video of that. And so a bunch of us went. And it turned out to be this wonderful, small little protest where the student organizers marched from the MLK Memorial to the White House. And we were shooting our documentary, and we were running along the whole time, getting beautiful footage of this really important moment. And it was all thanks to Twitter, that we would not have known about this event otherwise, and it really helped make the film. It's the final scene in this award-winning documentary called To Serve and Protect. And social media has has an important role like that. And you and I are I'm sure we are very careful about what we put on social media, but again, we tell the kids to try and be a little more selective as to what they put.
And I think that's so important because the internet is forever,
right.
whatever's out there. So how are you helping young people to identify and evaluate incoming messaging? You talked a little bit about Twitter, but I'm sure there's a lot more things that they see.
Yeah, well, in the news these days, we keep seeing about even middle school students in certain places having private text conversations and using these new platforms, encrypted platforms that not even parents can see. And all we can do, and what I can do, is just continue to instill upon the kids how important this is. And it takes a second to take a photo or to send a text, but it does stay forever. And the more these horrible incidents happen and the stories come out, I think some of them get it because they don't want an incident happening to them, but we just have to keep beating that drum.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So can you give us some examples of some of the good messaging use of the media that the Gandhi Brigade has taught some of their students? So you said about Twitter. Are there some other good best practices that you're sharing with them?
Yeah, a few years ago we were tasked by Montgomery County to help put together basically a best practices for social media. And so we use that curriculum and we share with our students what they should do. And so every year at the beginning of our program, we do go over best practices for social media. And sometimes it's just crossing your finger and hope they listen. So far, I haven't heard of any incidents of any of our students, but I'm not quite sure they would be telling me if something happened anyway, but at least I'm not reading about it. But I feel better at night knowing that we're having these conversations because most of the youth that we work with are first-generation American. They're immigrants. Some of them are undocumented themselves, and their parents are very busy, working 2-3 jobs, taking care of multiple kids. And so sometimes these conversations aren't had, and that's the role that we help play.
That's an important role, and hopefully the information that they're getting, they're sharing with their friends as well.
We hope so.
Maybe there's a trickle-down effect somewhere.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of Travel Television with Evan Glass from the Gandhi Brigade Youth Media. Next month, we will return to our last 3 episodes and our continuing discussion of Sustainable Development Goals. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and continue enjoying our monthly episodes. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carrie Hopkins for Travel Television.
We can be.
We must be
the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global goals.
A 15-year plan
for everyone, everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
Where no one wakes in the morning
asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die
of diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world where
everyone goes to school.
And education gives us the knowledge
and skills
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive
and be powerful
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is headed back.
We will live in a world
where all people can get clean water
and proper toilets
at home, at school, and at work.
We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light, and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We'll live in a world where economies prosper.
And new wealth
leads to decent jobs
for everyone.
And we will live in a world where our industry,
our infrastructure, and our
best innovations
are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
We will live in a world
where prejudices and extremes of inequality are defeated.
Inside our countries
and between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
Where we replace
what we consume.
Planet where we put back
what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back the threat of climate
change. Where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
Where we restore
and protect
life on land.
The forests,
animals, the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
An answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries and we their people
work together
in partnerships of all kinds
to make these goals a reality
for everyone, everywhere.
These are the United Nations global goals
for sustainable development.
Let's get to work.